One entry will parade at the end of the field and has been excused. The 2 James E.B. owned by Norman Byrne, Sean Shannon aboard. 3 Edgewater Sambro for Bill Nicholson Sr. 4 Cam's Magic owned by Paul Dares, driver Colleen Clancy. The 5 is Keyed Up. Sam Hodgen drives for owner Ken Norwood. 6 Conspicuous Colleen, owned and driven by David Baldwin. The 7 is Shalimar Sentinel, Steve Mahar, driving this afternoon for owner John McMillan. The 8 Kilkerran Peddler, owned by Janet Shanks and Dot Stevens, with Doug Falcons driving. Once again, the 1 has been excused, Flirt and Jenny, owned by Art and George Miller, with driver Brian Moore. Once again, we welcome the off-track wagers, those in Fredericton and Moncton this afternoon. We wish you the best of luck. 11 minutes to post for the first race.
Cam's Magic, Keyed Up, Conspicuous Colleen, Shalimar Sentinel, and Kilkerran Peddler. H. Dart and Jenny with Brian Moore. James E.B. and Sean Shannon. Edgewater Sambro, Bill Nicholson. Cam's Magic with Colleen Clancy. Keyed Up, Sam Hodgen. Conspicuous Colleen with David Baldwin. Shalimar Sentinel, Steve Mahar. And from the outside, Kilkerran Peddler, Doug Falcons. H. Darters for race 1. Here they come. There, off and off the gate goes Cam's Magic, quickly pacing to the top. Flirt and Jenny to the inside, off the rail is second. That's Shalimar Sentinel outside, racing third, moving on. Into the first turn, Cam's Magic with Shalimar Sentinel moving into cover. Behind the leader as they pass the 8th. Flirt and Jenny has third. James E.B. pacing fourth. Then it's Edgewater Sambro, Keyed Up. On the outside, racing 7th is Conspicuous Colleen. Kilkerran Peddler, your trailer, as they race by the opening quarter. Still Cam's Magic on top. They're racing second, a close second, is Shalimar Sentinel. Opening marker 30 2/5. Into the turn, they race to the 3/8. It's Cam's Magic, enjoying a length lead. Shalimar Sentinel and Flirt and Jenny. Here comes James E.B. off the rail, racing first over. From 4th, Edgewater Sambro in 5 as they round the turn. Racing for the half now. It's Cam's Magic in control. Shalimar Sentinel and Flirt and Jenny. James E.B. is outside 4th. Racing up 5th on the outside, 3 wide, comes Kilkerran Peddler. And they're by the half, 103 2. On the rail, 6 is Keyed Up. Then Edgewater Sambro, and the trailer is Conspicuous Colleen. He's far back. Into the turn, they race to the 5/8. Still Cam's Magic leading the field by the 5/8. They race to the 3/4. Movement on the outside for the challenger. Cam's Magic on top, Shalimar Sentinel. James E.B. lays third on the outside. Flirt and Jenny on the rail 4th. Kilkerran Peddler racing 5th. Keyed Up, Edgewater Sambro, Conspicuous Colleen. 133 1, the 3/4. Around the turn, Cam's Magic opens it up. Lead now 2.5. On the outside, James E.B. looking for second. Shalimar Sentinel on the rail, racing third, but Cam's Magic is the one to catch, opening up a 3-length lead as they race for home now. It's Cam's Magic well in hand. James E.B.'s off stride. Moving to the inside is Shalimar Sentinel. Cam's Magic, Shalimar Sentinel, and Flirt and Jenny on for third, and here they are. At the line, Cam's Magic, Shalimar Sentinel, and Flirt and Jenny. James E.B., Kilkerran Peddler, followed by Keyed Up, Edgewater Sambro, and Conspicuous Colleen. Time of the mile, 2:04. We parade back now the winner of the first race. It is number 4, Cam's Magic. Bay horse 9 years by Cam Fella out of Boots LaBelle. She by Armbro Nesbitt. Owned by Paul Dares of St. John. Trained and driven by Colleen Clancy. It's the 3rd win this year for Cam's Magic, winning our first race this afternoon in 2:04. Result for race 1. Flirtin' Jenny was 3rd. James E.B. 4th. Edgewater Sambro 7th. Cam's Magic, your race winner. Keyed Up was 6th. Conspicuous Colleen 8th. Shalimar Sentinel 2nd. Kilcairn Peddler 5th. The race times: quarter 30 and 2, half 103 and 2, 3/4 133 and 1.
6 minutes. Number 1 is Derek Jonathan, owned by Romeo Boucher of Moncton. Gordy Hennessy aboard. The 2 is this Cam's Down, owned by Milton Downey of St. John. Steve Downey driving. 3 is Prime Grand. Tony Watson gets the call this afternoon for owner Brian Foster. The 4, Twinbee John Boy, Andrew Simpson and Brian Sterling, the owners. Brian Moore aboard. 5, Bub's Light, Rolly Larkin, the owner, with driver Tim Merzetti. The 6, James Mack, owned by Donald Kerr, Todd Trites in the sulky. The 7, Spudland Striker, Steve Mahar up this afternoon for owners the Briggs Stables. The 8 is Shaky Ground, owned by Alfred and Father Yvon Berrio of Dieppe. Gilles Berrio driving. There's your 8 starters for race number 2. Race 2, post time in 5.
Gate is moving. Underway with race 2 now. 8 starters. Derek Jonathan with Gordy Hennessy. This Cam's Down and Steve Downey. Prime Grand, Tony Watson. Twinbee John Boy with Brian Moore. Bub's Light, Tim Merzetti. James Mack with Todd Trites. Spudland Striker and Steve Mahar, and from the outside, Shaky Ground, Gilles Berrio. 8 starters for the second race. Here they come. They're off and pacing. From the rail goes Derek Jonathan. In between them, this Cam's Down, and on the outside, Prime Grand. 3 of them out there in the early going. Derek Jonathan now to the top. That's Prime Grand working up on the outside. Dipping to the rail as they pass the 8th is this Cam's Down. Prime Grand now moves to the front. Derek Jonathan has second. This Cam's Down. There goes Twinbee John Boy out moving early on the outside. Then it's James Mack 5th, Spudland Striker, Shaky Ground. Bub's Light is your trailer. The opening quarter belongs to Prime Grand at the first station in 29 and 3. That's Twinbee John Boy now second on the outside. Rail third is Derek Jonathan. This Cam's Down with the leaders in 4th. James Mack has 5th, and they're making their way around the turn by the 3/8 safely and off the turn. Down the stretch, they race in front of the grandstand. Prime Grand is your pace setter. On the outside is Twinbee John Boy, challenging second now. Derek Jonathan third. Now with cover comes James Mack. 4th on the outside, up to 5th. And moving on the outside is Spudland Striker, the half, in a breezy 1 minute and 2/5. Into the turn, they drive to the 5/8, still Prime Grand on top. Twinbee John Boy, now Derek Jonathan moves to the inside, back to second. Twinbee John Boy fading third. Derek Jonathan is off stride, working their way around the breaking horse. This Cam's Down on the run as well. Everyone's by okay, though, and they race to the 3/4 with James Mack bidding for the top, taking it. That's Spudland Striker now a strong second. Prime Grand is racing a third, 132 the 3/4. Around the turn, they head to the 7/8, James Mack a length. Spudland Striker close. Back 5 more to Prime Grand in third. Twinbee John Boy. Bub's Light is on the outside, but the first 2 off by themselves as they race for home. James Mack and Spudland Striker on the outside challenging. They're through the stretch now. James Mack and Spudland Striker, a battle for third, and here they are. James Mack wins the second. Spudland Striker tight for third between Shaky Ground and Bub's Light. Then Prime Grand, Twinbee John Boy, Derek Jonathan, and this Cam's Down. Time for the mile, 2:02 and 2. James Mack, 4th win of the season. This afternoon, 2:02 and 2. Todd Tripes, James Mack winning the second race.
There's the
condition pace with 8 starters racing for $1,050. Number 1 is I'm Riley, owned and driven by Doug Falkins. 2 is Fame's Fashion. Owner is Don Sweezy of Nappen. The driver will be Gilles Berriot. 3 is Dreams Can Come True, owned by Giselle Bernard and Allison Glenn of Moncton. The driver, Gordy Hennessy. 4 is March Along Down. Kenny Arsenault, the driver this afternoon, for owner Gerald Bishop of Fredericton. Number 5, Sammy Down, owned by Milton Downey, driven by Steve Downey. 6 is Bad Storm A-Comin', owned by Thomas Smith Jr. of Holden, Maine, driver Steve Mahar. 7, Clonmel Cami, owned by Andrea Dolan and Albert Goodine of Fredericton, driver Todd Trites. And number 8 is J.L. Cook, owned and driven by Tim Merzetti. 8 starters for race number 3. 5 minutes for wagering.
Third race, the field of 8 as they approach the top of the stretch. We have I'm Riley, Doug Falkins, Fame's Fashion with Gilles Berriot, Dreams Can Come True, Gordy Hennessy, March Along Down with Kenny Arsenault, Sammy Down, Steve Downey, Bad Storm A-Comin' with Steve Mahar, Clonmel Cami with Todd Trites. Outside is J.L. Cook. Tim Merzetti, 8 starters, third race. Here they come. They are off, and the quickest off the gate is Dreams Can Come True. Up on the inside is Fame's Fashion. And from post 7, that's Clonmel Cami wide. Into the first turn onto the opening 8th, and Fame's Fashion is your leader. Racing in second is March Along Down. Dreams Can Come True is parked past the 8th pole. 3 wide, that's Clonmel Cami looking to go on. Then on the inside is Bad Storm A-Comin' as they race to the opening quarter. And that's Clonmel Cami backing off as Dreams Can Come True assumes command by the opening quarter, 29-1. Gordy Hennessy has Dreams Can Come True to the top now. Racing in second is Fame's Fashion. Racing third, March Along Down. Then it's Bad Storm A-Comin'. On the inside, Clonmel Cami comes out to move now as they come off the 3/8. Sammy Down follows cover. Then it's J.L. Cook and I'm Riley as they come through the stretch to the opening half for the first time in front of the grandstand. And on top, Dreams Can Come True. Second is Fame's Fashion. Up on the outside, March Along Down. After a half, in a minute, 2/5, Clonmel Cami follows the cover. Locked in is Bad Storm A-Comin', then Sammy Down. I'm Riley, and on the back end right now is J.L. Cook as they pass the 5/8 and on up the backstretch to the 3/4 pole on it still. Dreams Can Come True, and challenging second is March Along Down. Fame's Fashion on the rail racing third way wide. That is Sammy Down going on now to third. 3/4, 1:31-2 as they round the turn. It's still Dreams Can Come True. March Along Down, and joining the battle third on the outside is Sammy Down. Then in between horses is Clonmel Cami, Fame's Fashion. Off the 7/8 now for home. It's Dreams Can Come True. In between horses, March Along Down, and Sammy Down is coming on. And on the outside, Sammy Down comes pacing to the top. In deep stretch, Sammy Down comes on to win. In for second, March Along Down. And third, Dreams Can Come True. Then it was Clonmel Cami, I'm Riley. Time for the mile. 2:02-1. And back to the wire now, your unofficial winner of the third race. It's the 5 entry, Sammy Down. Sammy Down, a bay colt, 3 years by Happy Family. Out of the mare Dawn Down, she by Timely Robin. Owned by Milton Downey of St. John, trained and driven by Steve Downey for Sammy Down. That's win 5 of 1999. He wins this afternoon a new win race record for the colt, 2:02 and 1. Congratulations, 6th. Dreams Can Come True, 3rd. March Along Down, 2nd. Sammy Down, your race winner. Bad Storm McCummins, 7th. Clonmel Cami, 4th. And J.L. Cook, 8th. The track now, the starters of the 4th race. Race 4, first elimination, the Dairy Queen Futurity for 2-year-old colts. The 1, Burton Knight, Brian Moore driving. The 2 has been scratched. Your 3 is Bird of Flight, owned by Gerald Verge with driver Bernard McCollum. The 4 is How It's Overtime, owned by S. Teed and Ivan Jameson. Ivan does the driving. The 5 entry, Mr. Ralston, owned by Teresa Taylor of St. John with driver Robert Kraft. The 6 has been scratched, and the 7 is Charlotte's Flight, owned by Andy Beaton, Duncan Gillis, and Burton Gillis with driver Phil Pinkney. 5 starters here in the 4th race, 2 scratches. The top 2 finishers from this race, race 4, advance to the $50,000 final next week for the 2-year-old colt final.
Moving underway with race 4. First of our colt eliminations for the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurities. 5 starters behind the gate. We have Bird Tonight with Brian Moore. Bird of Flight, Bernard McCullum. How It's Overtime and Ivan Jameson. Mr. Ralston with Bob Kraft, and from the outside, Charlotte's Flight and Phil Pinkney. 5 starters, race 4. Here they come. They're off, and How It's Overtime. First off the gate, racing to the front, Bird of Flight has second. Up on the outside goes Charlotte's Flight racing on. To the inside is Bird Tonight, and they head to the opening 8th. Up front, cutting it out, is How It's Overtime. Bird of Flight up on the outside, second. Bird Tonight has third along the rail. Charlotte's Flight gets into the 4-hole. The trailer is Mr. Ralston. They head to the opening quarter, and they're battling for the top. On the inside is How It's Overtime. Bird of Flight driving for the lead. The opening quarter in 29 seconds flat, and they're still battling neck and neck. Heading to the 3/8 with Bird of Flight grabbing the top. How It's Overtime on the rail second. Bird Tonight third. Here comes Charlotte's Flight off the rail from 4th. Mr. Ralston is your trailer, and they make their way through the stretch the first time, heading to the half, and Bird of Flight finally taking the top. How It's Overtime second. Here comes Charlotte's Flight up on the outside. Mr. Ralston follows with cover now 4th. Your leader, though, at the half is Bird of Flight. He is there in 58 and 2, and they head to the 5/8, a blistering half. Bird of Flight still on top, and Charlotte's Flight at the leader's wheel second. Mr. Ralston racing up a strong third as they head to the 3/4. Now on the outside, Charlotte's Flight takes the top. Bird of Flight now racing second. Mr. Ralston is a strong third to second. Bird of Flight now third. Bird Tonight racing 4th. How It's Overtime. 3/4, 1:28 and 4, and they're battling neck and neck now. Mr. Ralston takes the top. Charlotte's Flight racing second. Bird Tonight has come to third. Bird of Flight racing 4th as they race to the 7/8. 1/8 to go, and it's Mr. Ralston on top. Charlotte's Flight second. Bird Tonight on the outside. Halfway through the stretch, Mr. Ralston, Charlotte's Flight, and Bird Tonight. Bob Kraft steers Mr. Ralston to a win here in the first elimination for colts of the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. Up for second, Charlotte's Flight, then Bird Tonight. Bird of Flight. How It's Overtime. Time for the mile, 1:59 and 3. Off the elimination heats for the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity, our first colt division. A blistering one this afternoon. We welcome back to the winner's circle the winner of race number 4. It is number 5, Mr. Ralston. He's a bay colt by Arcane Hanover out of Yeye Ralston, out of Warm Breeze. Owned and bred by Teresa Taylor, trained and driven by Bob Kraft. Mr. Ralston out for just his 7th lifetime start this afternoon, stepping to a new win race record of 1:59.3. We congratulate Mr. Ralston, his owner and breeder Teresa Taylor, and trainer driver Bob Kraft, winning our first colt elimination, the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity this afternoon. Fantastic mile, 1:59.3. The result of the 4th race is now official. Here is the official result of race number 4. Bird to Night was 3rd. Maple Grove Loki, scratched. Bird of Flight, 4th. Howitz Overtime was 5th. Mr. Ralston, your race winner. Island Ultra, scratched. Charlotte's Flight was 2nd. The race times, quarter 29 seconds, half 58 and 2. 3/4 1:28 and 4. Mr. Ralston, your winner, a new record, 1:59.3. Card should read from the top 3, scratch 4, 5, 1, scratch 2, mile 1:59 3/5. Right?
Pretty now the starters for the 5th, number 1 Island Sonnet. O'Mairoli Larkin, Gordy Hennessy will drive. The 2 entry, Noble Chance. Gilles Barrio gets the call this afternoon for owner Randy Blanchard. 3 Lookout World, owned by Bernie Charlton with driver Todd Trites. The 4 is Ed's Echo, owned by Alan Jones of Riverview and the Enlegier Stables, Claire McDonald driving. The 5 is Norwell Playboy, with driver Steve Mahar. 6 Cocan Dream, owned by Charlie Price, Colleen Clancy driving this afternoon. The 7 Last to Leave, owned by Carl Embleton with driver Doug Falcons, in the 8 4x4 for owner and driver Tim Merzetti. 8 starters here in the 5th race, race 5, post time in 4 minutes. 4 minutes to post.
We're underway with race number 5 with 8 starters. Island Sonnet, Gordy Hennessy, Noble Chance, and Gilles Barrio. Lookout World, Todd Trites. Ed's Echo with Claire McDonald. Norwell Playboy, Steve Mahar. Cocan Dream and Colleen Clancy. Last to Leave, Doug Falcons. 4x4 has the outside, Tim Merzetti. 8 starters for the 5th race. Here they come. That's Noble Chance off stride. They're off and pacing, and Lookout World pacing to the front. On the inside, Island Sonnet. Norwell Playboy quickly ducks into the 3-hole. And on the outside, Cocan Dream moves on now to 2nd. Into the turn, your leader past the opening 8th pole is Lookout World with Cocan Dream. 2nd on the outside, looking for a hole, will find it. On the rail, 3rd, Island Sonnet. And racing 4th, Norwell Playboy. That's 4x4. Outside, racing first over 5th. Ed's Echo has 6th. Then it's Last to Leave in the trailer. Back pacing Noble Chance quarter in 29 and 3. As they head to the 3/8, they race on now and cutting it out. Lookout World, and on the outside, 4x4 gets to 2nd. Cocan Dream on the rail is a 3rd. Here comes Island Sonnet with cover. 4th on the outside, and down the stretch they race for the half. Cutting it out, Lookout World. Todd Trites with a 1.5 length lead on the field. Cocan Dream on the rail 2nd. Land racing 3rd is 4x4. The half in 1 minute and 4/5. Island Sonnet working 4th on the outside. Ed's Echo looking for room to the inside 5th. Then they race into the turn. Heading to the 5/8 pole, it is still Lookout World. Cocan Dream up tight 2nd. 4x4 has not seen the rail. Racing to 2nd on the outside. Cocan Dream now 3rd. Here comes Ed's Echo. Getting movement on the outside from a 4th, tipping out 3 wide. Then it's Island Sonnet back to 5th. Noble Chance. Then it's Last to Leave the trailer is Norwell Playboy. Lookout World at the 3/4, 1:31.1, and they're fanning out 3 wide around the turn. Lookout World 3 wide, Ed's Echo. In between horses is 4x4 Cocan Dream. On the inside with the leaders, they're 3 wide with less than 1/8 to go, and here they come in the home stretch, and Ed's Echo racing on the outside to the front. Lookout World and a 4x4, but it's going to be Ed's Echo winning the fifth race. Lookout World 4x4, a tough trip, finishing third. Cocan Dream, last to leave. Norwell Playboy, Noble Chance, and Island Sonnet. Time for the mile, 2:01 and 3. And we parade back now the winner of the fifth race, Claire McDonald, driving Ed's Echo to victory in race number 5. Ed's Echo was a bay gelding 3 years by Dancer Size out of Shelley's Sweetie, she by Artie's Dream. Owned by Alan Jones of Riverview and the Legier Stables of Shediac, trained by Alan Jones, and as we mentioned, Claire driving this afternoon. 6th winning trip of the season for the sophomore colt, winning this afternoon 2:01 and 3. That's a new win race record for Ed's Echo, winning race number 5. It was 8th, Noble Chance 7th, Lookout World 2nd. Ed's Echo, your race winner. Norwell Playboy was 6th. Cocan Dream 4th. Last to leave 5th, and 4x4 3rd. Race times, a quarter 29 and 2, the half in a minute and 4/5. 3/4 in 1:31 and 1. Ed's Echo, your winner, a new win race record 2:01 and 3. Card should read from the top 872.
The racetrack, this is our second Colt Elimination Dash in the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurities. Purse is $3,500. 7 starters in race number 6. Number 1 is Double Cross Town, owned by J.F. Arsenault, B.F. Kennedy, and P.W. Bunnell of Truro, and M.W. Smith. The driver is Phil Pinckney. 2 is Remo, owned by Elmo Casey of Cocan. Driver is Gilles Barrio. Number 3 is Star Step, owned by Wayne Eric Webby of Dartmouth. The driver is Mark Webby. Horse number 4, Woodmere Dropper, owned by the Willises of Galt, Ontario, and Charlottetown. The driver today is Gary McDonald. Horse 5 is Northern Mission, owned by Edward Worthen of Enfield, Nova Scotia, and David Adams of Elmsdale. Driver today is Emmons McKay. Number 6, The Last High Hope, owned by Adam Spencer of Dieppe, Steve Mahar driving, and the 7 is Black Magic, owned by Brian Dowell of Sydney, Rod Jameson in the sulky. 7 starters for race 6, the second of 3 Colt Elimination Dashes in our Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. Purse is $3,000.
Starters for race 6, Elimination 2 in the Dairy Queen Futurity. 2-year-old pacing colts approaching the top of the stretch. 7 starters, Double Crosstown, Phil Pinckney, Remo with Gilles Barrio, Star Step, Mark Webby, Woodmere Dropper, Gary McDonald, Northern Mission with Emmons McKay, The Last High Hope, Steve Mahar. 7 to the outside is Black Magic with Rod Jameson. 7 2-year-old colts. Here they come. They're off, and quickest off the gate is Remo up on the outside from post 6, vying for the top is The Last High Hope as they race into the turn. Remo, your leader, The Last High Hope. Up on the outside, challenging second, and he's on the run as they go past the 8th pole. Everybody by okay. That leaves Remo by himself as they go on up the backstretch to the opening quarter. Remo, your leader, The Last High Hope. Back pacing. We'll get to the rail now, racing in second. As they go to the opening quarter, Remo is your leader by that marker. In 29 and 1 up front, Remo with a 2.5 length lead, racing second. The Last High Hope, then Star Step on the rail, racing third. Then it's Northern Mission. Here comes Woodmere Dropper. He's up on the outside from 5th. Then on the rail, Double Crosstown, and trailing with cover and moving is Black Magic as they come through the stretch in front of the grandstand. For the first time, Gilles Barrio is Remo on top past the opening half. In second, The Last High Hope, that half in 1 minute as they race into the turn to the 5/8, and Remo still on top with The Last High Hope giving chase in second. Then up on the outside, racing third, Northern Mission, and he's rough. And on the inside, Star Step as they race on to the 3/4 in this race. so far is all Remo. Gilles Barrio under a high line now. He's moving out now. Remo leading by about 7 lengths past the 3/4. 3/4, 1:29 and 3. It's Remo. A battle for second, and that's Wood. Mere Dropper on the far outside now to second. The Last High Hope is still racing third. Then on the outside coming to fourth is Black Magic. Off the 7/8 for home, and it's all Remo. On second now it's Wood, Mere Dropper. Then a battle on for third. Star Step on the outside. Comes on now to third. In deep stretch, though, a wire-to-wire trip for Remo. Then Wood, Mere Dropper second. Star Step in for third. Time for the mile. 2:01. Remo, he's a bay colt, 2 years, by drop off out of Rosanna Knight. She by Knightley Blue Chip, owned by Elmo Casey of Cocan, trained and driven by Gilles Barrio. For Remo, that's win 3 of the season. Winning this afternoon in 2:01. He will be back next week in the final of the Dairy Queen for 2-year-old pacing colts. Remo takes Division 2 in the Dairy Queen Futurity Eliminations, 2:01. 6 race official. The 1 Double Crosstown finished 6th, was placed 5th. 2 Remo, your race winner. 3 Star Step, 3rd. The 4 Woodmere Dropper, 2nd. 5 Northern Mission finished 7th, was placed 6th. The 6 The Last High Hope finished 5th, placed 7th, set back for interference to the 1 and the 5. The 7 entry Black Magic was 4th. Race times a quarter, 29 and 1. Over the half in 1 minute, 3/4, 1:29 and 3. Remo with the winner, 2:01. Feature pay, Quinella 2 and 4, $22. I think race 7 post time in 4 minutes. Number 1, Tough Ender, owned by Joe Lindsay of St. Stephen. Brian Moore driving. The 2 entry is Tucson Melody, Steve Downey driving for owner Milton Downey. The 3, Aaron M. Down, owned by Art Craig with driver Doug Falcons. 4 is St. Elmo, owned by Bob Tilley and Bruce Burnham. Gilles Barrio drives. The 5, the Free-Legged Rambo Derby, owned by Bob O'Brien with driver Tim Merzetti. 6 is Will R. Eddy, owned by Keith Siliker with driver Steve Mahar. Horse 7, Meductic Molly, owned by Dr. Robert Hume with Todd Trites. The 8 is Bucky's Family, owned and driven by Wayne McLean of Port Hood, Nova Scotia. 8 starters here, race 7, 4 minutes to post.
Underway with race number 7, we have 8 starters. Tough Ender with Brian Moore, Tucson Melody and Steve Downey. Aaron M. Down, Doug Falcons. St. Elmo with Gilles Barrio. Rambo Derby, Tim Merzetti. Will R. Eddy, Steve Mahar. Meductic Molly with Todd Trites. Wayne McLean and Bucky's Family with the outside. 8 starters for the 7th race, and here they come. They're off in Tucson Melody. St. Elmo racing for the top into the turn. Tough Ender on the rail has 3rd. Rambo Derby moves up on the outside to 3rd. They hit that first turn with Tucson Melody showing on top, 1.5 lengths past the 8th. St. Elmo racing 2nd. On the rail 3rd is a Rambo Derby. Tough Ender in 4th. Then it's Aaron M. Down, Will R. Eddy, Meductic Molly, and Bucky's Family trails. We have a single file field by the opening quarter. Tucson Melody there in 29 and 4. Into the turn, Tucson Melody on top a length. St. Elmo has 2nd, and Rambo Derby pacing in 3rd. Tough Ender 4th. Here comes Will R. Eddy. Moving first over to 5th on the outside, and they race by the 3/8 off that turn down in front of the grandstand. Here they come for the first time, and the mare Tucson Melody shows the way. St. Elmo and Rambo Derby has 3rd. Will R. Eddy on the move, comes to 4th on the outside. Tough Ender has a 5th. Meductic Molly has a cover 6th. Then it's Aaron M. Down and Bucky's Family, the half, 1:01 and 2. Into the turn, they race to the 5/8. It's still Tucson Melody, 1.5 lengths. St. Elmo and Rambo Derby still racing third. They're by the 5/8 and up the backstretch. There they go for the 3/4. Tucson Melody. St. Elmo is staying close. Rambo Derby, he moves off the rail from third. Will already fourth. Meductic Molly 3 wide now fifth. Racing by the 3/4. 1:30 and 4, still Tucson Melody, St. Elmo, and Rambo Derby is on the outside. 3 wide, Meductic Molly has come to fourth. Will R. Eddie, Bucky's Family. Then it's Tough Ender and Aaron M. down, and off the top turn, Tucson Melody. Here comes St. Elmo out to challenge from second. It's Tucson Melody, St. Elmo on the outside. Racing third is Rambo Derby. Tucson Melody's going to hold, and here they are. Tucson Melody wins it. St. Elmo, Rambo Derby, Meductic Molly, Bucky's Family, Will Already, Tough Ender, and Aaron M. Down. Time of the mile, 2 minutes and 4/5. A Fashion Melody, she by Melvin's Woe. Owned by Milton Downey, trained and driven by Steve Downey. It's the 16th win of the season for the fine mare. Tucson Melody winning this afternoon, 2 minutes and 4/5. Seventh, Tucson Melody, your race winner. Aaron M. Down was 8th. St. Elmo 2nd. Rambo Derby was 3rd. Will Already 6th. Meductic Molly was 4th, and Bucky's Family 5th.
8th race, race number 8, Division 3 for the 2-year-old colts and the Dairy Queen eliminations. We have 7 starters. Once again, the top 2 advancing to next week's final for $50,000. Number 1 is Awesome Again, owned by Romeo Boucher. Gordy Hennessy driving. 2 entry, Hussy Chaser, owned by Norman Hall with driver Dave O'Brien. 3 Elm Grove Dignity, Jack Quinn the owner, Jason Hughes aboard. 4 is Nightly Blues, owned by Keith Siliker with driver Steve Mahar. 5 is Woodmere Som Terror, owned by Dave Bishop and Tony Bishop, Earl Smith driving. The 6 is Bucky's de la Hoya for owner-driver Wayne McLean, and 7 Dakota Express for owner and driver Calvin McQuarrie. 7 starters here, race 8, the 3rd elimination for the 2-year-old colts, post time in 5.
At the gate, and the gate is moving. We're underway with the 8th race, 3rd of 4 elimination dashes for colts in the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. 7 starters, Awesome Again with Gordy Hennessy, Hussy Chaser, Dave O'Brien. Elm Grove Dignity with Jason Hughes, Nightly Blues, Steve Mahar, Woodmere Some Terror with Earl Smith, Bucky's de la Hoya, Wayne McLean. Outside is Dakota Express and Calvin McQuarrie. 7 starters, race 8. Here they come. They're off in Elm Grove Dignity, quickly pacing to the top. Awesome Again, and on the outside, Woodmere Some Terror. They drive into the first turn. Awesome Again now assuming command. Woodmere Some Terror has second. Driving up on the outside to third is Dakota Express. 3 wide on the outside as they head up the backside for the opening quarter. And out from second comes Woodmere Some Terror bidding for the top. On the rail second is Elm Grove Dignity. Woodmere Some Terror skipping but back pacing by the opening quarter. Woodmere Some Terror on top, 29 and 1. Driving up on the outside, that's Bucky's de la Hoya now on the move, looking for the front. Now Bucky's de la Hoya, Woodmere Some Terror, Elm Grove Dignity third. 4th on the outside is Dakota Express after making a skip, and they make their way past the 3/8 and down the stretch they come for the half. Cutting it out now is Bucky's de la Hoya. On the rail second, Woodmere Some Terror. Dakota Express hangs third on the outside. Following with cover is Hussy Chaser, the half in a minute flat. Racing into the turn, they head to the 5/8 and on top, Bucky's de la Hoya. Woodmere Some Terror second. That's Dakota Express. Yet to see the rail, now moving on the outside. Elm Grove Dignity racing 4th along the rail. Hussy Chaser 5th on the outside with cover. Then it's Awesome Again, and Nightly Blues trails, and they drive up the backside. Under a tight hold, Bucky's de la Hoya continues to lead the field. Back to second, Woodmere Some Terror, Dakota Express, and tipping out 3 wide goes Hussy Chaser. 3/4, 131 and 1, 3 wide in the far turn. Bucky's De La Hoya, 3 wide. Hussy Chaser coming on. On the inside, Woodmere Some Terror. Dakota Express is there as well. So is Elm Grove Dignity, bunched around the far turn. Here they come for home. It's Bucky's De La Hoya. On the outside, Hussy Chaser is coming on. So is Woodmere Some Terror. Woodmere Some Terror and out of the front. Hussy Chaser and Elm Grove Dignity looks like he's there for third. At the line, Woodmere Some Terror, Hussy Chaser, Elm Grove Dignity, then Bucky's De La Hoya, Dakota Express, Nightly Blues, and Awesome Again. Time of the mile, 2:02 and 4. The Inquive, Woodmere Some Terror. Bay Colt by Nuclear Terror out of Some Nice Friday, she by Willow Bird. Owned by Dave Bishop of Pompano, Florida. Tony Bishop of New York City. Trained by David Bishop, Earl Smith getting the drive this afternoon. It's the first lifetime win for this freshman colt, winning this afternoon in a maiden record of 2:02 and 4. Congratulations to Woodmere Some Terror. His owners, David and Tony Bishop, trainer David Bishop and driver Earl Smith, winning this third elimination for colts, the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. Judges will wait for the final print on the show photo between horses 3 and 6, Elm Grove Dignity and Bucky's De La Hoya, waiting on the show photo print. Awesome Again was 7th. Hussy Chaser 2nd. Elm Grove Dignity was 3rd. Nightly Blues 6th. Woodmere Some Terror, your race winner. Bucky's De La Hoya 4th. Dakota Express was 5th. Race times, quarter 29 and 1, the half in 1 minute. 3/4, 131 and 1. Woodmere Some Terror, your winner. A maiden record 2:02 and 4. Card should read from the top, 7-2-3.
This is the first elimination dash of the afternoon for 2-year-old fillies. The Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity for $3,500. Number 1 is CL's Goldie, owned by Betty Hicken and Bert Hainveld of Montague, PEI. Claire McDonald driving. 2 is Hannah O'Neill, owned by William Blakeney of Dorchester. Gary McDonald is the driver. 3 is the Scarlet Terror. Danny Romo drives for the owner, Paul Gray of Halifax. Number 4 is Mighty Sassy, owned by the Riley Farms of Kensington, PEI. Paul McDonald in the sulky. 5 is Southview Susie, owned by Elwood Lawton of Charlottetown. David O'Brien aboard. 6 is Glengyle Tess, owned by James McGregor of Winslow, PEI. Kenny Arsenault is the driver. Number 7, Seawind Ruby, owned by Charlottetown's Tim Banks. Earl Smith in the sulky, and the 8 is Lotto Money, owned by Carl McDougall of Ellerslie, PEI. The driver is Rod Jameson. 8 starters for the 9th race, our first of 2 elimination dashes for fillies in the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. Will go to post in 7 minutes.
The top 4 official finishers advance to the $50,000 final. We have CL's Goldie, Hannah O'Neill, the Scarlet Terror, Mighty Sassy, Southview Susie, Glengyle Tess, Seawind Ruby, and Lotto Money. 8 starters to the gate. For race 9, elimination 1 for the 2-year-old fillies in the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. Dairy Queen Pepsi elimination 1 at the gate, approaching the top of the stretch. CL's Goldie, Claire McDonald, Hannah O'Neill, Gary McDonald, the Scarlet Terror, Danny Romo, Mighty Sassy with Paul McDonald, Southview Susie, Dave O'Brien, Glengyle Tess with Kenny Arsenault, Seawind Ruby with Earl Smith. Outside is Lotto Money with Rod Jameson. 8 2-year-old fillies, here they come. They're off and a good start, vying for the lead from post number 4. That is Mighty Sassy. Up on the inside is Hannah O'Neill. Up on the outside as well goes Seawind Ruby as they race into the turn of the opening 8th, and that is Mighty Sassy grabbing the top for Paul McDonald past the 8th pole. Up the back stretch to the quarter, Hannah O'Neill 2nd, and that's Seawind Ruby. Rushing on now to 2nd, Hannah O'Neill racing 3rd. Then Lotto Money backs off for cover, racing in 4th. Then it's CL's Goldie as they pass the opening quarter in 29 and 3. Then it's back to Southview Susie as they race by the quarter once again in 29 and 3. And up front Cutting it out, your leader is Mighty Sassy. Racing second is on the rail now. On the rail is Sea Wind Ruby. Then third off the rail comes Hannah O'Neill as they come off the turn through the stretch to the opening half for the first time. And your leader on the inside is Mighty Sassy. That's Hannah O'Neill. Challenging on the outside, Lotto Money. Up on the outside after a half in 1 minute, 2/5, and it's Sea Wind Ruby, CL's Goldie, Southview Susie. Then up the outside goes the Scarlet Terror, and trailing is Glengyle Tess as they pass a 5/8 on up the backstretch to the 3/4 pole. Still leading, it's Mighty Sassy with Hannah O'Neill. Challenging hard second. Lotto Money is right there third. Then it's CL's Goldie fourth. They race neck and neck to the 3/4. It's still Mighty Sassy leading. 3/4 won, 31-1. Mighty Sassy, Hannah O'Neill. The Tough Trip racing second on the outside. She's still challenging though. Lotto Money is right there third, swinging wide from fourth. Here comes CL's Goldie as they come off the turn. Hannah O'Neill grabbing the top on the outside. Now it's Hannah O'Neill on the far outside. Here comes CL's Goldie. It's Hannah O'Neill though in deep stretch. She wins the first elimination. CL's Goldie in for second. Then Mighty Sassy, Lotto Money, the Scarlet Terror were tight. Then Glengyle Tess, Southview Susie, and Sea Wind Ruby in the time for the mile. 2:01.4. Of the first elimination in the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity for 2-year-old fillies goes to number 2, Hannah O'Neill. She's a Bay filly, 2 years, by drop-off out of Peggy O'Neill. She by Nukes Lobel. Owned by Bill Blakeney of Dorchester. Bob O'Brien, the trainer. Gary McDonald drives for Hannah O'Neill. That's her 4th win from 10 tries this year. She wins in 2:01.4, taking elimination 1 in the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. She'll be back next week to vie for the final worth $50,000. Once again, congratulations, owner Bill Blakeney of Dorchester, trainer Bob O'Brien, and the driver Gary McDonald. Our winners of race 9, Hannah O'Neill, 2:01.4. Goldie second. Hannah O'Neill, your race winner. The Scarlet Terror 5th. Mighty Sassy 3rd. Southview Susie 7th. Glengyle Tess was 6th. Sea Wind Ruby 8th, and Lotto Money finishing 4th. The race times a quarter, 29-3. Over the half in a minute, 2/5. 3/4 in 1:31.1. Hannah O'Neill takes elimination 1 for the 2-year-old fillies, 2:01.4. Owned by Carl Bagnall and Dixie Lynn McKay. Emmons McKay driving. 6, Hamac Dexter, owned by Blaine McPherson with driver Walter Chevery. The 7, Southview Sabre, owned by Elwood Lawton of Charlottetown PEI. Dave O'Brien in the sulky. 7 starters here. Race number 10, the final division for the 2-year-old colts in the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. The top 2 finishers come back next week to race in the final, going for $50,000. Well, 16:02H to driver Steve Mahar for feet out of the stirrups, back with the last High Hope in race 6. A fine of $50 under rule 16:02H given to driver Steve Mahar back in race 6 with the last High Hope.
To advance to next Saturday's final, No Joke, Last of Bella, Big O, Maple Grove Lars, Perfect Jaguar, Halmac Dexter, and Southview Sabre. 7 starters for the 10th race. It's post time. 4 colt eliminations for the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. $3,500 is up for grabs here. No Joke with Kenny Arsenault, Last of Bella, and Danny Romo. Big O with Earl Smith. Maple Grove Lars, Gary McDonald. Perfect Jaguar, Emmons McKay. Halmac Dexter with Walter Cheverie. Southview Sabre has the outside with David O'Brien. 7 starters, race 10. Here they come. They're off and pacing from the rail, no joke on the outside. Big O racing on for the top. Last of Bella has third as they drive into that turn. Big O is rough and off stride, and everyone moves around okay as they race by the 8th. That gives No Joke a 4-length lead up the backside, heading to the quarter. Last of Bella out of the 3-hole, moving on, looking for some room and going on, racing third. That is Last of Bella on the outside. Southview Sabre now bidding for the top, takes it quickly from the leader, No Joke. Quarter 29 and 2. Southview Sabre pacing out on top. No Joke now a tight second. Last of Bella pacing third. Maple Grove Lars has fourth. Perfect Jaguar in fifth. Then it's Halmac Dexter, and Big O takes up the rear as they race around the turn. Pacing to the half, cutting it out. Southview Sabre. No Joke. Here comes Last of Bella. Out from third to challenge first over. Maple Grove Lars going to follow with cover in fourth. The half in 1 minute flat. Then Perfect Jaguar racing fifth. Halmac Dexter and Big O. And they race to the 5/8. Still cutting it out is Southview Sabre, and on the outside, Last of Bella on the rail. No Joke and uptight third, and they're heading to the 3/4 marker. Racing on top, Southview Sabre, Last of Bella. On the outside, show second. No Joke right there with the leaders. Racing third, back about 8 lengths to Perfect Jaguar outside fourth. 3/4 and 1, 28 and 3. That third marker in 28 and 3. Into the turn, it is Southview Sabre. Last of Bella challenging on the outside. No Joke going to swing out 3 wide as they make their way past the 7/8. We have 1/8 to go, and here they come for home. It's Last of Bella now, pacing to the top. No Joke is coming on. Southview Sabre third. Last of Bella going to win this final elimination for Colts of the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity. Then No Joke and Southview Sabre, followed by Perfect Jaguar, Maple Grove Lars, Big O, and Halmac Dexter. Time of the mile, 1:59 and 1. Of the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity, it's number 2, Last of Bella. He is a bay colt by Arcane Hanover out of Assel Spumate. She by Matt Scooter. Bred by Arthur Mercer. Owned by Art Mercer of Sydney and Robert Skinner of Truro, Nova Scotia. Trained by Bradley Jones. Danny Romo with the drive this afternoon. 8th win from 10 starts for this 2-year-old colt, and this afternoon he steps to a new win race record, 1:59 and 1. Great third quarter here of 28 and 3. So congratulations to Last of Bella, his owners Arthur Mercer and Robert Skinner, breeder Arthur Mercer, trainer Bradley Jones, and driver Danny Romo, winning this elimination division of the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity for 2-year-old colts. Result of race 10 is now Go with 6th. Maple Grove Lars 5th. Perfect Jaguar 4th. Halmac Dexter was 7th. Southview Sabre 3rd. Race times, quarter 29 and 2, the half in 1 minute. 3/4 and 1, 28 and 3. And Last of Bella, your winner, stepping to a new win race record of 1:59 and 1. Card should read from the top, 216-5473, mile 1:59 and 1. Before moving on to the 11th, heading to EPR next weekend for the final of the Dairy Queen Pepsi Futurity for 2-year-old colts will be Mr. Ralston, Charlotte's Flight, Remo, Woodmere Dropper, Woodmere Some Terror, Hussy Chaser, Last of Bella, and Southview Sabre. They'll be your 8 finalists next week here at EPR for the championship final. Race 11 is next.
For 200, we'll have the exact amount for you in a moment. 29180 Paris Reflection, owned by David Lund of Moncton, Gilles Barrio driving. 2 is Sunset Josh, owned by Carl McDougall and Ronnie Gass with Rod Jameson aboard. The 3 is Pete and Earl, owned by Peter Hanley with driver Doug Falcons. The 4 is Calgary Flutie, owned by Dr. Robert Hume with driver Todd Trites. 5, Mysterious Ways, owned by Brian Sterling of St. John, with Brian Moore driving. And the 6, Rosetown Eagle, owned by Glenn Taylor of Cardigan, Prince Edward Island, and Kerry Taylor of Stratford, with driver Brian McPhee. 6 starters, 11th race, post time in 5 minutes.
11th race are at the gate. Gate is moving. Starter has the horses for race 11. There are 6 in it. $1,600 is the purse. Behind the gate, Paris Reflection with Gilles Barrio, Sunset Josh and Rod Jameson, Pete and Earl, Doug Falcons, Calgary Flutie with Todd Trites, Mysterious Ways, Brian Moore, and from the outside, Rosetown Eagle, Brian McPhee. 6 starters for the 11th race. Here they come. There, off Calgary Flutie, busting out of the gate quickly, grabbing the top. On the outside, Mysterious Ways, Pete and Earl quick to grab third as they race into that first turn. Calgary Flutie, your early leader, with Mysterious Ways driving up second on the outside. By the 8th, Pete and Earl pacing third. Paris Reflection has 4th. Then it's Sunset Josh and the trailer heading to the quarter. Rosetown Eagle up the backside with Mysterious Ways and Brian Moore now grabbing the top. They're your first quarter leader. Racing in second is Calgary Flutie, opening quarter in 28-2. Driving into the turn to the 3/8, Mysterious Ways and Calgary Flutie, Pete and Earl. Racing in third, Paris Reflection. Here comes Sunset Josh moving first over from the back of the pack, and following with cover is Rosetown Eagle, and they make their way around the turn. Through the stretch, they race in front of the grandstand. Mysterious Ways is your pace setter. Calgary Flutie and racing third, Pete and Earl. Here comes Sunset Josh up to third on the outside. They pace the half in 1 minute flat. A minute by the half. Mysterious Ways, your leader, into the turn, heading to the 5/8. Driving up on the outside is Sunset Josh. Calgary Flutie up tight third on the inside. With cover, Rosetown Eagle looking good from 4th, and they're by the 5/8. Racing up the backstretch for the 3/4. Mysterious Ways, Sunset Josh lays second. On the outside, Calgary Flutie in tight third. On the outside, 4th is Rosetown Eagle. Then it's Pete and Earl and Paris Reflection. 3/4, Mysterious Ways in 1:31.3, and they drive to the 7/8, a tightly bunched pack of horses. Mysterious Ways, 3 parts of a length. Sunset Josh hanging second. Calgary Flutie, no racing room right now, and tipping out 3 wide. Comes Rosetown Eagle through the stretch. Mysterious Ways, Sunset Josh. Calgary Flutie to the inside, the passing lane. Sunset Josh now. On the outside is Rosetown Eagle, and here they are. At the line tight between Sunset Josh, Rosetown Eagle, Calgary Flutie. Then Mysterious Ways, Paris Reflection, and Pete and Earl. Time of the mile, 2:01.1. Elmerhurst out of Dusty Lane Dawn. She by Flair Wave. Owned by Carl McDougall of Ellerslie and Ronnie Gass of Cornwall, Prince Edward Island. Trained by Carl McDougall. Rod Jameson drives Sunset Josh to his 5th win in a row, 11th of the season, here this afternoon, 2:01.1. Sunset Josh and Rod Jameson take our 11th race. Sunset Josh, your race winner. Pete and Earl finished 6th, was placed 5th. Calgary Flutie finished 3rd, but was disqualified for leaving the race course in the home stretch. Mysterious Ways finished 4th, was placed 3rd. Rosetown Eagle 2nd. Race times, quarter 28-2, the half in 1 minute. 3/4, 1:31.3. Sunset Josh, your winner, in 2:01.1. Card should read from the top, 4-1-5, disqualified, 3-2, mile 2:01.1. 12th race is up next, number 8, Don't Let Me Down, being driven. The reason for his disqualification. Mysterious Ways, Sunset Josh. Calgary Flutie to the inside, the passing lane. Sunset Josh now. On the outside is Rosetown Eagle.